Hey everybody, this is Roy Cannaday, and we are back with more of my top 100 games of all time. Keep getting higher and higher on the list. It's always cool to see which games kind of move around and slide around and what reasons they are for being on the list. Hopefully I can add some context to that stuff, and hopefully you can check out all these games that I really enjoy. Anything that's on my top 100 is a game that I really like to play, and especially in the right situation, like I just love getting them to the table. Anyway, let's get right into it. All right, number 70 here. This one is primarily on the list because I've been enjoying playing it with my girlfriend so much, and this is Project L. This is a game with polyominoes, and you're basically gaining these polyominoes and upgrading the polyominoes, and as you complete different puzzles, then you're able to get more of those, and it's just that combo of being able to get those out, then do like a master action to be able to put it in a whole bunch of different puzzles and trying to figure out the right timing and doing action economy basically as you're taking the different actions to put pieces in these puzzles. The game ends when you've taken all of the black puzzles out, and then whoever has the best score from there will win the game. But it's just a simple game of these different polyominoes, and it just feels like a lot of fun with these bright, colorful pieces, and I've had a blast playing it with a bunch of different friend groups, and especially with my girlfriend Ruthie. My next one here, number 69, is Mechs versus Minions. This is still one of the best production qualities in a game ever, and the gameplay is amazing too, as you're basically programming your different they're like mech things, but it's based in the whole League of Legends world, and you're basically going around stomping all these minions, going through different scenario campaigns, getting all sorts of different crazy weapon upgrades that allow you to slash away a ton of these minions, trying to do the different objectives to be able to get further and further in the scenarios. It's a lot of fun, and it's just cool to see that production value in this game, and I really enjoy Mechs vs. Minions. It gives me a Robo Rally vibe, but it's cooperative where you're working together to stomp tons and tons of baddies. The next one here is another one that I've had a blast playing with my girlfriend. I think games that I get to the table a lot just are going to end up pushing their way up on my top 100, but this is 5 Minute Marvel. I had a blast playing this on the cruise. I played it at retreats. I played it with friends at our little friend game nights and things like that. I've had a blast playing 5 Minute Marvel, and I liked 5 Minute Dungeon, but adding that Marvel theme to it just makes it even more interesting with the asymmetrical powers for all of the different heroes in the game. I've definitely had a blast playing this, and it's just that crazy real-time game of throwing out cards as fast as possible, and when you're done, everybody sighs, whether you win or lose, being like, holy smokes, that was intense. And it's just a fun game because you're all working together and trying to figure out when to play the cards and when to hold them back, so that way you don't play too many cards on a thing that you defeated and just rushing through. You have to be in the right mood to play this kind of game because it's real-time and crazy, but I've had a blast playing, and that is 5 Minute Marvel. My number 67 here is Res Arcana. This is an awesome game of being able to collect the resources and trying to figure out how to get to 10 points first to end the game. There's lots of different ways you can do that by playing out these cards. You have a simple deck of cards that you'll draft or start with starter decks, and then you'll basically be playing those to try to figure out ways to get your resources in the correct way to be able to get your points up. It's definitely an interesting game, and I love Tom Lehman's games, and this just kind of fits that vibe. And if you want a game that has that magical theme, but honestly is not too crazy, you don't have a ton of cards in the game or a ton of things, you're just trying to figure out how to get the economy of your resources right to be able to get to those 10 points. Anyway, I really enjoy Res Arcana, and that is why is my number 67. My number 66 is Rising Sun. This is a game of having negotiations and basically allying with other players, but also trying to figure out how to control the different areas on the board. I really love the combat system. There's this kind of bidding combat where you bid your coins and you're trying to either capture other people's stuff or outsmart your opponents in that, and I really enjoy that part of the game. I feel like I barely ever win this game, but I still have a lot of fun whenever we play it. Always upgrading cards and getting those monsters is always a lot of fun in these games, in basically the trilogy. But yeah, I really enjoy Rising Sun. Even though I always seem to get smashed out or people don't join me in an alliance or things like that, I still have a lot of fun playing it, and just the combos of the different cards and things like that are a blast to play, and that is Rising Sun. My number 65 is a Lord of the Rings game, which is my favorite IP of all time. This is Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. And this is one that I really wish I could get to the table even more. If I had an opportunity or a game group to play this with constantly, I feel like this would go up even more. It's just kind of like waned and gone up a little bit on my list here and there, but I definitely still enjoy the game. I enjoy the mechanics. I enjoy the exploration. I enjoy the story. I love the IP, and I love going through the different stuff. Maybe I should play this more solo to try to be able to beast through some more of the campaigns. I feel like if this had one-shots in it where I could just play it and not have to do a whole campaign, this would be way higher on my list. But regardless of that, I still really enjoy the mechanics, I enjoy the theme, I enjoy the miniatures, I enjoy the way the game comes together, and I just enjoy those app-integrated stories of these games. This gives me a very strong Mansions of Madness vibe, but I really enjoy the card play in this as well with all the different Lord of the Rings themed stuff. But that is Journeys in Middle-earth. My next one here is a worker placement game, but it's also a castle defense game, and this is after the Empire. This is where you're putting workers out, trying to build up your castle, trying to figure out ways to defend it. I really enjoy the castle pieces in this game, and I have to build it up. And the more, basically your points are your money, but the more money you have, the more people are gonna be trying to raid your castle. So it's this weird, trying to figure out how much points do I want to have? Should I try to spend some of my money so that way I'm not as juicy of a target for all of these invaders trying to come in? Basically, the invaders are going to attack all the players basically the same way. Unless you have more money, then you can have even more attacks against you. But it's definitely an enjoyable game and just one of those tense games. It's really fun being like, I'm building these turrets out, I'm building soldiers and try to put them on the right sides of the wall so that way you can protect your village or protect your little castle and protect people from raiding in there. I definitely had a blast with them. This is one that I feel like has gone under the radar for a lot of people. So if you have any interest in a tower defense worker placement game, definitely check this one out. And the aesthetics of the board as you're playing the game, just building up that castle, is just so good. And I really enjoy this game. And I really think more people should check out After the Empire. It's a blast to play. My next one here is a very expensive game, but that set aside, I really enjoy the gameplay of Dice Realms. It is basically a game, it gives me a Dominion vibe, but it has these different dice that you're changing out different faces on, and you roll the dice each turn, and you're going to gain the resources. There are spaces of the die let you to get a resource and then re-roll, so there's a little bit of combo building up, and I love that part of figuring out, okay, it's very much like Dominion with you have all these different things set up, all these different die faces set up, and you have to try to figure out what's the best thing I can do to make my dice the most optimal. And the game ends whether the points run out or the wheat runs out. There's also a bad die that can end up making you pay wheat based on how many dice you have and things like that. Just upgrading the dice is a blast to play in this game. I understand this game is super expensive, so I don't know if it's one that you need to own just because it's really expensive, but if you have a chance to play it when you come to Dice Tower East or Dice Tower West or anything like that, it's definitely a lot of fun to play, and it's a really, really snappy, quick game. I definitely have enjoyed Dice Realms, and that's why it's on my top 100. I have a blast playing it. But yeah, Dice Realms. My next one here is a game we just played in the 24-hour marathon. I love that this game is on my top 100 list because I probably would rank it even higher at this point just because I love this game so much, and I feel like it's underrepresented, and that is Ethnos. Ethnos is a game of area control where you're playing out the cards. I love the quick, snappy turns. It's super fast as you're either drafting a card into your hand or playing out cards and then putting out guys on the board. And the combos of the different fantasy factions make it super awesome trying to figure out exactly which ones you're going to play out, which one's going to be leading your war band to be able to take stuff over, because it very much changes up. If I do eagles, then I can go anywhere over here, or birdfolk, I can go anywhere over here. Giants are going to help me take this thing. This faction is going to, dwarves are going to give me more points at the end of the round. There's all sorts of different things that mix and match the game up, and you play with different fantasy factions each time you play. So there's a lot of replayability in the game, and I just love how quick this game plays. Ethnos is a blast to play, and if you haven't played Ethnos, check it out. I know they're coming out with a new version of it, but I don't know if I'm going to like the theme on that as much. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that is Ethnos. And my number 61, speaking of Dominion, is Dominion. I enjoy Dominion. I love deck building games, and Dominion is the OG deck building game, and it's still always just a blast to play as you're figuring out which cards to draft, how to build up your deck, your engine of cards that you're playing out. I love games with combos in it, and this just has combos in spades, and you're just playing out your cards, doing stuff to get points. The point cards normally don't give you any benefit during the game, but as you get them, you're going to be able to win the game if you have enough of them, and just figuring out which actions and which cards to take is always fun. And this is just deck building kind of at its pure, most simple form, and you're just looking at those rows of cards, figuring out exactly which ones you want to try to like combo together to make it work best for you. There's so many expansions for Dominion. I definitely haven't gone nearly as deep in the expansions for this as some of the other people here at the Dice Tower, but I still really enjoy Dominion as a game and all. So yeah, that is my 61. Well, thanks for joining me for another piece of my top 100. I hope you're enjoying these and checking out everybody's list. It's definitely cool to see the different tastes of everybody here at the Dice Tower. And if you align with me in the make sure to let me know in the comments, especially which games you have played or haven't played in this section. Let me know which games you're looking forward to playing. It's always awesome to hear from you guys. And hopefully we'll be able to play some of these games at a retreat or a Dice Tower East or something like that someday. A lot of these games on my list, almost all the ones on my top 100, are games I can teach super well. So hey, I would love to get an opportunity to play these games with some of you. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you on the next one.